Well, you wonder why I always dress in black, why you never see bright colors on my back, and why does my appearance seem to have a somber tone? Well, there's a reason for the things that I have on. I wear the black for the poor and the beaten down, living in the hopeless, hungry side of town. I wear it for the prisoner who has long paid for his crime, but is there because he's a victim of the time. I wear the black for those who've never read or listened to the words that Jesus said about the road to happiness through love and charity. Why, you think he's talking straight to you and me? Well, we're doing mighty fine, I do suppose, in our streak of lightning cars and fancy clothes. But just so we're reminded of the ones who are held back, up front there ought to be a man in black. I wear it for the sick and lonely old, for the reckless ones whose bad trip left them cold. I wear the black in mourning for the lives that could have been. Each week we lose 100 fine young men. And I wear it for the thousands who have died, believing that the Lord was on their side. I wear it for another 100,000 who have died, believing that we all were on their side. Well, there's things that never will be right, I know, and things need changing everywhere you go. But till we start to make a move to make a few things right, you'll never see me wear a suit of white. Oh, I'd love to wear a rainbow every day and tell the world that everything's okay. But I'll try to carry off a little dark darkness on my back till things are brighter. I'm the man in black. Well, you wonder why I always dress in black, why you never see bright colors on my back, and why does my appearance seem to have a somber tone? Well, there's a reason for the things that I have on. I wear the black for the poor and the beaten down, living in the hopeless, hungry side of town. I wear it for the prisoner who has long paid for his crime, but is there because he's a victim of the time. I wear the black for those who've never read or listened to the words that Jesus said about the road to happiness through love and charity. Why, you think he's talking straight to you and me? Well, we're doing mighty fine, I do suppose, in our streak of lightning cars and fancy clothes. But just so we're reminded of the ones who are held back, up front there ought to be a man in black. I wear it for the sick and lonely old, for the reckless ones whose bad trip left them cold. I wear the black in mourning for the lives that could have been. Each week we lose 100 fine young men. And I wear it for the thousands who have died, believing that the Lord was on their side. I wear it for another 100,000 who have died, believing that we all were on their side. Well, there's things that never will be right, I know, and things need changing everywhere you go. But till we start to make a move to make a few things right, you'll never see me wear a suit of white. Oh, I'd love to wear a rainbow every day, to carry off a little darkness on my back till things are brighter. I'm the man in black. Well, you wonder why I always dress in black, why you never see bright colors on my back, and why does my appearance seem to have a somber tone? Well, there's a reason for the things that I have on. I wear the black for the poor and the beaten down, living in the hopeless, hungry side of town. I wear it for the prisoner who has long paid for his crime, but is there because he's a victim of the time. I wear the black for those who've never read or listened to the words that Jesus said about the road to happiness through love and charity. Why, you think he's talking straight to you and me? Well, we're doing mighty fine, I do suppose, in our
intro. And if I've done everything right, we are live. Let's see. Turn the volume up here. I'm running about a 20-second lag on this thing.
Ooh, we're coming on early tonight.
Yeah, a couple of minutes, since we were last week. And hey, everybody. I'm just getting a few technical matters worked out here. And, we have to work on these issues at the last minute since some people sign on 3 minutes prior and miss the pre-production staff meeting.
I was here in plenty of time. You just decided to start early.
Uh-huh. Okay, looks like we have volume. All right. Can you guys hear us okay? I can hear me on the cell phone. So, first things first, thanks to Steve and Ken for coming out. I'm waiting for somebody to say they can hear us. Ken, did you get my emails? Bill, KLSC wants to know if you got his emails, Ken. Can anybody hear us? Are we coming through? Barranca Tower, hello, hello.
What emails? What are they talking about?
Bill, KLSC 8510 says asked if did you get my emails.
Is that better? Am I cuter now?
Please, you asking a lot of the little of a comb. Okay, we're coming in good. All right. They got to stop by 5. Excellent. Okay, and we're off and running. So yes, as you guys know, I was off on a cruise in Alaska. I had a family member who was celebrating a big birthday, so we decided to make a whole big family thing out of it. For reasons I'm sure everyone watching understands, we kept the plans a secret. You know, you never, even though people were here at the house, you know, it's not like it was unattended. Oh, Steve, you're drifting through space. But, you know, you just, as you all know, you should never broadcast travel plans and stuff. So, anyway, so I will be making a long and boring video about the, boy, he's really going away. Hey, I like the girl that popped up in your place.
There you go.
So, anywho, and I got my little souvenirs. I got my refrigerator magnet space needle for the TARDIS, and I got my moose, because that's my nickname, my moose from Victoria, and my Alaska fridge magnet. So I got all the refrigerator magnets to help complete my set. And I got this amongst other souvenirs, including a moose shot glass and this beautiful Alaska coffee cup that my wife picked out. I also got this fantastic retro Buck Rogers type rocket, which comes with a launching pad, and it goes into space, and the nose cone pops off so that it can replenish the space station.
Oh, he hit all the tourist traps.
Yeah, but he hit the important one, Ken.
I saw this and we both fell in love with it at the same time. It's like
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I'm probably going to keep that. She's like, you want to put that on the bar or in the office? I'm like, this may stay in the office.
You should have got 2.
And
Stuart
50
Trigger
bucks a
wants
throw.
to, did you take
And of course, you can't be more touristy than to buy the Alaska road sign with your name on it. So,
KLS&C wants to know, were you afraid that some glue trooper would torpedo the cruise ship?
Yes, I was desperately afraid of that. But I wasn't going to put any. I was putting a little video up just to make it part of the intro, and then I'm not going to mention who it was up in Canada, Bill, that said, "So have you already made a video? How long is it going to be?" I'm like, "Oh, you asked for it." And so that's the video I threw up just before this. But there'll be a long, boring 1-hour one probably later, because I took 458 photographs and some footage. I tell you what, sitting on the back of that ship though, and just watching the ocean churn away behind you, you know, after stuffing yourself at a buffet, that's the way
That
to
is
travel.
relaxing. And
It
hypnotizing
absolutely
too, isn't
is. And needless to say, you're in the channels up there. You know, there's only a little bit of what you might call open ocean time, and that's only on one side of the ship. Most of it, you're on the waterways within the islands and the mainland. So there's these beautiful sunsets with mountains and everything. And like, man, but the problem is that you're one of 4 cruise ships. We were on a Celebrity, and there were 2 celebrities and 2 other ones, and we're all hitting the same whistle stop. So you're seeing these same ships at every port. And at one point, I got a photo. We're just station keeping with the other celebrity vessel. We were on the Edge, which is a cool ship, but I don't think it's particularly pretty. But I'm going to talk about that in the video, so we'll get on that. Tonight, we are talking about using black paint and how often that it seems so simple, but occasionally is not. Now, the first thing I thought... Go ahead.
Steve and I were kind of hoping that this topic wouldn't go on for too long so we could get into some interesting stuff.
And what, pray tell, Ken, is more interesting than my plane? Oh boy, I almost said it. I'm not going to. My rocket-shaped.
Your rocket-shaped.
Okay, we're not going to go. I haven't even started drinking yet, so we're just not going to go there. What did you guys want to talk about?
No, we felt that once you got into your rocket-shaped container, things would really roll. So that's what we were. That's
so
where we want to
you're
go.
Gonna have to. We're gonna have to move. You want me to drink faster? Is that what you're saying? I only put 2 shots in there.
Hey, that's a really good
Good
see, we hadn't
idea.
thought of that.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
I want
You
you
know
guys.
what?
I want everyone watching this right now to remember they said that at the hearing.
Yeah, let's get a GoFundMe for getting more beverage supplies for the live stream.
We could start a chant. Empty the flask. Empty the flask. Empty the flask.
See if you can
One
make it
does
to,
not slurp.
see if you
Maker's
can make it to Mars quicker than Elon.
Mark.
Or even better, empty the rocket. Empty the rocket.
We're going for the final burn. Houston.
Oh, he's already
Don't lose it.
he's already screwing up on re-entry.
Okay, I just purged the ohms. That's the orbital maneuvering system.
Oh God, Kenny emptied it already.
Well, I only had 2 shots in there.
You
Don't
might
worry.
take-
I'll wait
you
for the
want-
commercial break to lick the inside. God, that sounded so wrong.
You want to leave it? You want to leave it to Ken and us for a few minutes while you go in and fill it up, refuel?
If I sneak into the kitchen now that the show's on and she hears that thing so much as tinkle on the shelf, you know, and I guarantee you, she moves like a cat, and she'll walk out right as I'm sitting there going, she'll hear the, you know, like, it's not what you think. Actually, it is precisely what you think.
Precisely what she's thinking, yes.
You
I
know,
quit saying it's not what you think. I'm going, I just look at it and go, look.
you know, instead of another display cabinet for the office of the Tarvis, you need to get a beverage holder.
Oh my God.
Chaos to cease.
I could become a practiced alcoholic.
Chaos
so-
to cease. Max broke it.
It's not broke. It's all right here.
Dreamberry says you ain't sneaking nowhere.
Yeah, really. At 300 pounds,
Before,
the only thing I'm sneaking up on is the dead. Oh, by
before
the
that,
way.
he said, "Oh, wait a minute." Before that, he said, "Talking about paint while it dries. This is going to be exciting."
Yeah, really. Yeah, we're lit.
So anyway,
Steve, if this episode turns out to be boring and people click off, just so you know, I'm holding you responsible.
thank you.
But
Only if it stays on topic.
I mean, there's a word that I just keep wanting to say every time I grab this thing, but this is a family channel. I'm like,
Don't go there. Don't go there. No. Not even going to go there.
okay, who could turn this into a Bell X1? So anyway,
Doesn't take batteries, does it?
no, this one's powered this way.
Oh, okay. Manual.
No, I did not. You didn't see me do that. I didn't do that.
No.
Just put 31 Raptors under it and watch it go.
Yeah,
I
put
think-
a couple of Estes little rockets under it and see what happens.
You know, you could, if you could find a way to curve the paper, you could make an Estes rocket look like this. You could do a skit where you got the kid puts a boom. Anyway, so
I would pay to watch that. I would pay for that.
Now, there you go. We could do pay-per-views.
yeah, we could start the Only Nerds channel.
It would be like the Jackass channel for model kids.
Chaos to cease. Is it empty? Rocket fuel only lasts a few minutes after launch.
So,
But it's already out of fuel.
So painting black cars.
painting black. Okay, so
James.
we're going to
let's go
start
back on
off with,
topic.
as we all know, first off, good luck finding any gloss black or gloss clear right now.
Why?
I'm having trouble finding the gloss clear. My wife gave me the last of her semi-gloss, but there are some things that you can only use gloss for. And there's a real issue with the Batmobiles because they're all very different. And believe it or not, the original Batmobile, I think, is probably the hardest one to get right for a bunch of reasons. And Steve, why don't you real quick cover what the issues were with the original car that have made it so tricky to make a good model of it?
Well, when they made the original car, it got a typical custom car paint job. Lots of paint, lots of clear, lots of polish. It shined like a mirror.
Which is the way most people build their models of it.
Right, which is how, people like to have their models in their cars. The problem was the glare was so bad when it was on camera because of the lighting that they had to dull the car down. And the same thing happened with the Black Beauty from the Green Hornet. Similar thing. It had a great paint job, but they had to flatten it because it didn't look good on screen. So most people like me and other people who build the Batmobile, I mean, you want that thing to shine like a mirror. And, you know, it's hard to do. The car has a lot of different complex curves and shapes and slats and, you know, little compartments. And you know, like as well as I do, when you paint black, even though you got a spray booth, invariably there's a piece of dust that somehow manages to just
Oh yes,
lay
there is.
right in the biggest part of the car. And you're sanding and you're repainting and you're sanding and you're repainting and then you're clearing to try to get it to, you know, to shine. Now in the Michael Keaton Batmobile, that's not an issue because that car was flat.
So was the was it Robert Patrick one?
Yes,
Yeah.
but nobody's made a model of that one yet.
I've got one up here from DC, from Bondi. Are you actually watching the program? I literally had a picture.
Yeah,
of
I see it on the bottom right.
Yeah.
That must be. I've never seen that one. So okay, that's new.
Oh, by the way, time out. Yeah, Barry, I meant, but I got sidetracked because somebody wanted me to chug whiskey.
We're
Our
just
good
trying to
friend,
make the show better.
well, it wouldn't take a lot to improve this show. We got the lowest production values on the internet, so when you're beauty about the being on the bottom, you can only go up. But Dan Monroe over at the Real Channel at Movies, Monsters, Music and Monsters gave this channel a huge shout out because he did his recent video on Aurora. It's a great video. Go watch it. But he was only a couple of minutes in, and he gave our channel a really nice promotion. So thank you, Dan. He had some really good high quality photos that I didn't have when I made my videos of Joe Giammarino and Abe Shikes. And
You had the same photos though.
the same photos with the quality.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have used upscale or something to clean them up, or he may have found higher resolution pictures. Of course, you know, I was about to say I'm a guy working in his basement, but then so's Dan. So, you know, but the one thing I can tell you about the pictures of Abe is that the clearer and higher quality the photos of Abe gets, the better he don't look. It just, no matter.
Abe was a tough cookie. I mean,
He was a tough. He was. You said it
He was
best one time. He goes, he was your typical tough old Russian Jewish New York businessman.
from
you know,
Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn. I mean, the guy was hard scrabble. I mean, born in Russia, comes up through the Depression, immigrates to the U.S., goes in the Army, fights in the Battle of the Bulge. The man did not lead an easy life. And
his employees didn't either.
It even says in the book that Abe will walk around turning out lights. Oh, we're really failing. But you know what? I can't fault the guy for that. When I mean,
In the Aurora offices, they had no carpet. It was all linoleum because it was cheap and it was easy to clean. It was practical. When Diker took over,
oh my God, we got to look like a big international business.
Let me tell you something. The year Diker took over, they redid the showroom in the toy building, and it was unbelievable what they did to it.
It was unbelievably expensive.
It was, and the joke was that when they turned the lights on in the showroom at Aurora, the lights on Broadway dimmed. They had more lights in that place. You would go blind just walking in there. It was so bright.
You know, they say the same thing about Jacksonville when they use our electric chair right over there in Rayford at Old Sparky.
Oh, okay.
And they say, oh, the lights will dim. Oh, must be execution day. Sparky must be
But that's
on.
for good use.
Yeah. So getting back to Black on Cars, I'm putting up the pictures of your Michael Keaton build.
Okay.
And I like that blue light. That gives it that's a nice display.
I gave that to Andy for his 80th birthday.
Wow, I didn't realize. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And that's tell me about painting this, because you got a nice smooth paint job on it. I don't see any dust in it or anything.
The only thing it was fairly straightforward. I mean,
This just rattle can or airbrush or what?
it was rattle can. I primed it. I
What,
hit it with
with these Tamiya's or?
Tamiya primer. I sanded it with 5,000 wet, wiped it down, and sprayed it with Tamiya flat black, and it came out great.
Well, yeah, that looks really good. I
And
have
the
a problem
the
with
back
sand.
the backdrop, of
Yeah.
Gotham City, that came in the kit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was in the kit. It unfolds, and I put it up in the back of the case.
How long do you let that paint harden before you wet sand it? You wet sand it or dry sand it?
I wet sanded it.
And how long do you give? Do you give like 24 hours or just a couple hours? Or
Yeah, what I do is I primed it. I let it stay for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Then I wet sanded it, wiped it down, and then I painted it right away.
Okay.
After I wet sanded it and cleaned it, I just painted it. I didn't let it, stay.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't want to get any dirt on it in the time that I would just leave it there before I put the color on.
Well, I want to tell you something I was told by one of the master modelers I had the pleasure of chatting with. Apparently, some of these guys who are making these unbelievable builds, they will take what is basically super fine screen, or some people say they'll use like a air conditioning type material. They'll make a little box. When they paint it, they put that over it so it can gas out, but dust can't get in. And I really should probably do that. Not that my builds are that great. It would just be an interesting experiment, because I cannot count the number of models that I've built that when I'm all done, I start taking photographs. Of course, the photograph blows everything up bigger than my eyes can see. And then I'm seeing all these dust specks and hairs and stuff that were caught in it. And now I'm going back trying, and of course, when you pluck them off, it tears some of the paint out. And you do more damage trying to fix it,
The problem is with anything we're doing, there's no easy way to paint it that it's going to come out right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a bit of work that has to go in between the coats to get it to come out right.
Well, since you brought that up, I've got your pictures of the Black Beauty build rolling here. So you've got it masked off, shot, and so tell us about that process. Because that came out really good.
Thanks. I washed the body. I taped off the top, because the top it had black top, vinyl top on it.
Oh, that's right. And the vinyl can't be gloss.
Well, yeah, and the top was textured, and
right.
And the color of the plastic, it was sort of like semi-gloss. It wasn't shiny. It wasn't flat. So all I did was I taped up the roof. I hit it with Tamiya primer. Again, I sanded it, and then I painted it. But I put like 3 coats of black on it, and it came out nice.
For those who aren't reading the comment threads, Lugo said, "Nice build, Steve. Oh, you rascal, you."
Yeah. And that did it. And it was, other than that, it was pretty simple. It's a nice kit, because you can build it 2 ways. You can build it with all the rockets and gadgets, or you can build it just as the car.
Okay, let me make a slight correction to what you just said. You're supposed to buy 3 of them. 1 to make with everything showing, 1 to make with everything closed, and 1 to keep in the box for future.
Well, there's 3 more to keep it in the stash.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there you go. In fact, guys, let me run some video that Steve sent me of just doing a little rotisserie turn with the, and it really does look good, Steve. You did a great job on that. What I don't want to say ticks me off. That's too hard of a turn of phrase. What yeah, okay, it just ticks me off.
Okay.
Is when I go to the kit, we work hard and we make these nice builds, and then we go to one of the conventions or the national or something, and you see stuff that just rolls your socks down. And you're like, I'll never be able to compete with this.
It all comes down to time in. If you wanted to spend 3 months doing this car, you could make it look a lot better than it looks here.
Steve, you just gave me an idea. Perhaps I
Uh-oh.
should send you a model
boy.
and challenge you to do exactly that.
Spend 3 months.
Now here's the problem. I was going to have baby. I built the Supernatural. I have the box right there on the wall. I built the Supernatural Impala baby metallic car, and of course it's a solid black car except for the chrome. And I just rattle canned it, and I just kept laying the coats on until it was nice and shiny and thick and looked great, and then clear coated it. That was it, and it came out looking fine. It's in fact, it's not only do we keep it here in the house, it's actually on our coffee table. I was going to bring it in here, but I've got some 3D printed models of the boys that were sent to me by Glue Trooper. I forget who sent them to me. If you're online, please say it in the comment section, because I want to thank you again for that. Of course, as always happens with figures like that, the barrels broke off the guns. I had to glue them back on, 3D printed, but we got it fixed. But they were really nice 3D, and they're standing in front of the car. But the point is that I was really afraid that I would not be able to get a nice job just using rattle can Tamiya lacquer, and I did. But you and I both know that's a crapshoot. When you rattle can something, sometimes it works out perfectly, and you're like, I did it the exact same way I did it last time, and it looks like trash.
Well, how many times have you done painted kit? Looks great. You sit it there to dry out. You go in the next morning, you got fish eyes.
Yep.
You got little bubbles in the paint. Didn't do that when you painted it. It just happened as it was drying out.
I want to know how the guy at the factory got the job putting the fish eyes in yellow paint. Because every time I've used yellow paint, and a lot of times with white, I get the fish eyes. And I'm like, what that? And the weird thing, I will strip the model, wash it, start from scratch, and get a fisheye in the exact same spot. Now, what I have been told by people, I have no idea if it's true, but take this for what it's worth, is that sometimes is a defect in the curing process of the actual styrene. And what you have is a spot in the styrene that's just different from the rest of it. And at the micro level, it might be, gassing out, for lack of a better way to phrase it, which is why it keeps repeating. Sometimes you can beat it into submission. You sand it, you'll shoot it, and just beat it into submission.
The perfect example of that was that Trans Am I built for Ken.
That model is not a perfect example of anything except how not to make a model. That thing's freaking translucent.
It is.
Ken, I cannot impress upon you how much work Steve put into that to get what he got out of it. You cannot do better without fabricating your own parts to replace theirs. Okay.
Oh, I know. I heard about it.
I was over at Ken's 70th birthday, and I saw it sitting there and opened the box, and he didn't even on display, and the hell was still in the box. And I was like, well, I figured you didn't have a place to put it yet.
Oh.
But then I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that's the excuse I would use.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on you, Steve. You did as good a job as could be done.
But let me tell you something. You have no idea how close Ken came to getting $50 and me throwing the kid against the wall.
I can't really say that you made the right decision.
There's more paint on that thing than there is on my real car.
And it's still, the old saying that if bacon can't save it, it can't be saved. Yeah. You put as much bacon on that car as you can. And guys, I have to emphasize, Steve did great work. The kit blows. Now, in
MPC, more plastic crap.
More plastic crap. I want to say in defense of MPC, but those words are just ash in my mouth. Man, this is...
I just
how much I have to drink to trash talk a model company, because normally I'm always looking for the bright side in things. How did you make me go negative, Steve? It's that New Yorkerness in you.
It is. I just had this discussion with Keeler this week.
Don't you get smug, Ken. You were born in New York also.
Barely. Barely. You walk out the front door of the hospital and you'd probably be in Pennsylvania.
Yes, but I'm never going to let that go.
I had this discussion with Keeler last week about MPC kits. And Keeler said to me, I don't understand. He said, Todiff did great work at A&T, and he went over to MPC and he brought all of the engineering guys and the shop guys he stole them from A&T. And he says, and they made pure crap. It's like, okay.
Okay, I'm going to proffer a thought on that with absolutely nothing to go on other than alcohol. This is an alcohol-fueled rant, okay? Well, not
Here we
really a
go.
rant, but
Steve,
here's
we
what I
succeeded.
think.
We succeeded, Steve. We got him off the black paint thing.
And I told you it wouldn't take long.
Of course not.
Thank God for that, too.
Wait till I take my next bathroom break.
2 hours of watching black paint.
Black
2 hours
paint.
of watching black
And
paint.
I'm the one
dry
who's been
is too
drinking.
much. Oh, the boat
Anyway.
walking.
Meanwhile, I'm surprised you didn't do a boat build on this trip. I mean, I was waiting for a boat build video on the trip, you know.
Okay. Since you brought that up, this is all Steve's fault, okay?
Oh, he found a cruise ship kit.
No. Okay. All right. Whoa. Time out. Time for a tangent. Tangent alert. Tangent alert. Wah, wah.
We finally got one.
So, since Steve brought it up, making what happens in the next 3 minutes his fault. If I had brought a kit model, if I had brought a kit model with me on this trip, there would have been a man overboard. Okay. This was a family
held
thing.
a little seminar in the lounge. You know, if there were any.
How do you know I didn't?
Because you're still here to talk about it.
Oh, well,
That's right.
Okay, fair enough.
And there wasn't a man overboard alert.
It's funny you should mention that because tangent from a tangent, which makes that tangent squared, which is 4 tangents.
Even better.
See,
They did have, like shows with scientists and things. I'm going to talk about this. And they did somehow manage to work into when you raise your hand and answer a question that, oh yes, I have a YouTube channel on plastic models. And I know this because blah, 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 blah. And of course, my wife was quietly skulking into the shadows. I don't know him. He abducted me. He's got my passport.
You're not getting out of this one.
But I did give me the idea to do a video on the fact that there are not very many cruise ship models. And I can tell you why.
I knew it. I knew it was going there.
It's Steve's fault.
And tell us why.
Because they're ugly. Battleships aircraft carriers are ugly, but they have airplanes, so that saves them. Battleships are beautiful. Destroyers are rakish. Cruisers are super cool. Cruise ships are freaking hotels on a pontoon with a motor.
Unless it's the Titanic and everybody makes a kid of that.
That wasn't a cruise ship. That was an ocean liner. Okay? And it was very rakish and beautiful. Cruise ships.
Max,
What?
tell us the difference, please.
Between what? God, Ken really hates you. You know that. All of you. Ken hates you. That's why he wants me to keep talking, because he hates you. He hates you. And
This is turning out better than I thought it was going to.
I told you.
as my wife can tell you, he's easy to manipulate. Okay. Ocean liners, which crossed the ocean, had to be fast because speed was everything. The blue ribbon, all that stuff. The SS America, which by the way means steamship. Modern ships are not SS anymore because they're not steamships; they're MVs. Ken, that's motor vessel.
Motorized vessel, yes.
Motorized vessel, yeah. So, because they had to be fast, and ship technology, I would say, was in its infancy, was pretty advanced, but they still had limitations. They knew they were going to be doing 22, 24 knots. They, had to keep the center of gravity down low. So the ships were only so big, which gave them that rakish look. The Titanic, only 3 of those stacks are real. The 4th one was a decoration to give it symmetry. Okay, I was waiting for Ken to interject there, but he didn't, so I'm just going to keep going.
Abhorrent Ties says tangent squared. Okay, you got him on car kit Revell 49 Merc. Paul Adams says modern cruise ships are office blocks with hulls.
They are.
And
Time out.
somebody
Hold
else
on.
said,
Tangent cubed.
Wait a
Steve.
minute. There was one more. Somebody said
Don't you
cruise
wait
ships
a minute,
like,
me, mister.
are the container ships for people.
Oh my God. That's what they are. They're Connexes for people. Steve, he mentioned the 43 Merc. Tell me what you know about it.
Somebody says, somebody else says cruise ships are moving condos on water.
No, they really are. They're butt ugly moving condos. What they are is a casino and a shopping center with the condos on top. So did you say something about a 43 Mercury?
No, Sluggo says the best plane kit he's ever built is a Tamiya 148th Corsair. The car kit is the Revell 49 Merc.
Oh, 49. I was gonna go. There was no civilian car manufacturing in World War II, so I thought you said 43 Merc. There was no 43 Merc.
No, it's a 49.
Okay. Okay, Steve. Pop quiz. Tell me what you know about the 49 Merc.
The lead sled.
Continue.
The car that most hot rodders customized after World War II.
Why?
Because it it had a low ride height, which was the thing at the time. It had slab sides. It was fairly easy to customize. The most famous one is the one that George Barris and his brother built called the Hirahata Merc, which was a 49 Merc, which is in the Galpin collection. Sylvester Stallone had one in that movie,
Cobra.
Cobra.
Yes, that's where we all know it from.
Yeah, there's
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce that when it comes to cars, Steve never disappoints.
Try.
I had a great time at the Peterson Museum with Mike Machat.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I really want to go there with you.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been drinking, well, wait a minute, I have been drinking.
It's like going to an airplane museum with Max.
Yes, I went to Uvar Hazy with him. We had a crowd follow us through the museum. Okay, it's
Thank
true.
you. Tours are at 11 and 4.
Yeah, and I had the same thing at the Peterson when I took my son there when he first moved to California. He said, "Let's take me to a few places in LA." So we went there.
Guys, so you understand how the triumvirate works. Steve Cars, me Planes, Ken Technology. Everybody
So Ken,
agree?
you're the Bill Gates of the group.
Yep. Ken and I have 2 trips that we want to do. One is Atlanta to do this so he can fly the 727. It was 722 or 73? 72 simulator.
It's a 7.3.
7.3 simulator. And the other one is, where's that computer museum you want to go to?
In Roswell, just north of Atlanta.
Oh, okay. So we can do both on the same trip.
Yeah.
I was planning to take Trey and Fran up to the Army Aviation Museum at Fort Rucker and then go to Pensacola. But my wife told me that she wanted to go. And I was like, wait a minute, you want me to drag you through an aviation museum? Okay. Who are you and what did you do with my spouse? So I will be taking my wife. Now, I'm thrilled to do that because you have no trouble getting me to talk about aviation. I'm sorry. Things are going on in my brain that I don't dare let go out of my mouth. But I'm still kind of like twitching, like something does not compute. You're going to let me drag you through a couple of aviation museums? Oh boy, and I thought she was hot before. Ooh.
One snuck out.
All right.
Any minute now, I expect to see the door open behind him.
And you guys see something hit me in the back of the head.
To you for a minute.
Oh, come on. Tell me you're not having fun.
The door will open. You won't see Monica. You'll see this whip come out, and that'll be the end of the picture.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time. Good God, what have you guys done to me? And my big shiny dildo is out of rocket fuel.
That rocket juice is really helping.
We'll have a good time. The question is, will you later?
Ow!
The rocket
it's got a sharp edge around it. I can't lick the inside because of the sharp edge around the outside. Oh, come on, that was funny.
It was.
After a few shots of rocket fuel, I guess it would be.
I might have to disappear a minute for station identification. Oh my God, who remembers that? Hold on.
Aren't you?
Hold on. Okay.
Hey, made it in there. Yeah.
Elon was watching. We had to stick the landing.
If only.
Weren't you guys going to go to the Star Trek thing that's in Georgia, right over the border?
Isn't that in?
Oh yeah, St. Mary's. We talked about it. We hadn't gotten around to it yet. Yeah. Apparently, the problem is they won't let you like film your own video there unless you like go through all the stuff. And I get it, you know. But I want to. I'm like, if I'm going to do, I'm dragging all your asses in here, and we're going to do a hilarious ass fan film. But apparently they don't enjoy our sense of humor that much. I don't know. I need to go where the shuttle's at too.
KOSC says dangerous with you, Max and me at the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. I have
Funny
been there
you should mention that.
6 times. I love that place.
I've only been there twice. Once when I was like 12. Did I already mention? Did I tell you? Okay. I don't think I've told the Glue Troopers about the thing with Mike in the Air Force Museum. I told you, Steve, but I don't.
Yes.
I tell you, Ken, if you communicated better, but I hardly ever hear it. I love the look.
Every episode needs rocket juice.
Yeah. I'm going to be taking a break for station identification here in a minute. Okay, just type Y if you know what I'm talking about when I say station identification. That'll immediately tell us what generation you belong to. Okay, for those who are very young, is Gavin out here? Yeah, there he is. Hey, Gavin. Hey, oh, Gavin. He's freaking 18 years old. He had a crowd at the Alabama. Oh, my dude. Gavin, you give me hope for the future of America. Gavin, and for those who are under about 40, television stations used to have to take breaks to do station identification, where they identified themselves to the FCC and did this magic stuff in the background. And oh yeah, everybody, why yeah, they all remember that. And but it makes a perfect excuse to refuel my rocket. And by that I mean my big chrome dildo here. But did I say that out loud?
No, we didn't hear anything.
Okay, no. Good. Because I wouldn't want to say that on a family channel. You guys have got to understand.
Right now, the letter's being composed by YouTube.
You have been terminated.
That is some really high quality rocket juice you got.
Did it? Maker's Mark, baby, all the way. And I've got some Angel's Envy, but I haven't polished off the Maker's Mark yet. Well, the little bottle, never mind. You don't need to know that. So, you know the old saying, opposites attract?
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I could not be a better match made in heaven and could not be more different.
Oh, you are scoring points right now.
She is an intensely private person, raised in Latin America, very conservative and all that sort of stuff. And you guys, well, you know what I am. I mean, you know, I'm Mr. Flamboyant, love attention, love to go out and make people laugh. Comedy is dangerous, though. I've made some real enemies by not sticking the landing on certain jokes. So I have definitely made enemies for life out of attempts to be funny. It's a dangerous thing, a risk I'm willing to take. And when that girl from that pizza place in Alexandria hunts me down. Oh, I'm sorry, that's another story. But anyway, I won't tell you guys.
I have a waitress story for you that you'll appreciate.
Okay, hit me with it.
The other night we were out to dinner. We're having dinner.
Who's we?
This young waitress is.
Who's we?
Me and my wife.
Oh, okay.
And this young waitstaff girl is obviously infatuated with the young porter boy. Okay. And we're trying to get her attention so that we could get something that wasn't right with the order. And we're trying to get her, My wife's like...
But you're fighting ovarian attraction, so...
Right, so I went over to her and I said, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt your quest for a bed this evening, but do you think that you could come over and help us with this issue that we have at the table? And my wife looked at me and said, I don't believe you said that. I said, you know me how many years? And you are shocked.
How long have you been married?
Yeah. I said, you know me how many years? I said, we've been married 45 years. We went out for 6. You know me for 51 years. You think that that's something I wouldn't say? She goes, when you put it that way, yeah, you're right.
This is why the three of us work so well together. Steve is the guy who has not worried about upsetting. Ken and I are very sensitive to other people. You know, we try to. Steve doesn't give a crap. Okay.
No filter.
I mean,
no
he was
filter.
raised in Manhattan. I mean, you know,
Right.
and what you were from the village or the
Yes. In
yeah,
Graysville.
from the, you know, so you know he's learned to crush egos at an early age.
As I told the HR people at the company I work for, after I took the LGBTQ learning module and they asked, did this help you interact any better?
Careful, we got all kinds of
I'm
fans
sorry.
here.
I said, and they
This is
said,
good.
did this help you to interact any better with the LGBTQ community? And I said, no. And I get a phone call from HR saying, oh, you just, finished it. And we noticed that you noticed no. I said, did you read my resume and my bio that I had to do when you hired me? I grew up in Greenwich Village in the 50s and 60s. I said, that was LGBTQ headquarters before they were called LGBTQ. These people were my neighbors. They owned the stores. I said, of course I know how to interact with them. I don't need this stupid training module to interact with them.
Hold on, guys. I have some heartbreaking news here from Barry.
Uh-oh.
Barry,
saying?
by the way, for those who don't know, Barry is Ken and I, we all had dinner together. He's a great guy, great model builder, very generous. Barry, I want to thank you for everything. But Barry says, Max, they moved this. Oops, hold on. Scroll down. Max, they moved the steps from Kingsland, Georgia to Sandusky, Ohio. Paramount CBS no longer permit them to have fan tours. They only permit fans. You can access the sets if you volunteer. What the unholy... I almost dropped the big bomb.
Wow.
You see, this is proof. When you have something good, take advantage of it while you can. But no, I went, it's right up in Kingsland. Go anytime I want. I'll go later. And now it's gone. Mother.
Yeah, we got to get to Atlanta before they shut down the simulator.
You know what? You guys talk for a minute. I have to do station identification.
Hopefully, they could shut down Atlanta and leave the simulator.
I'm taking my big shiny chrome rocket with me.
Okay, so now why
And
did
I'm saying
Prince
rocket
name one-
because there's another letter I want to put on the front of that word.
Uh-oh.
We can't see a thing, Max.
It worked. It worked.
You're right. It worked beautifully.
We have to
Much better than I thought it was going to.
we have to talk before each live stream from now on and figure out the plan. But anyway, what is this R.I.P. Joe Rogan from Prince Namor 1939?
Rip Joe Rogan? I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Well, that's about. Max's Max's sewer bill just went up sky high.
No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm back already. I had to go refuel my rocket. Oh, God, that is not what I meant to say.
Okay, boy.
I'm back.
Max is
And I'm going the
feeling-
easier route. I just grab what was left of the thing.
He's just feeling no pain.
Okay, now what is
Oh,
the
trust
Star
me, I
Trek-
will later if I'm lucky.
What is the Star Trek setup in New York State that Wild Dad has posted? Is that Dan Monroe's house?
That's Buffalo.
I heard
Well,
there's something in.
that's in New York State.
I heard
No,
there's something
I
in
think
Las
the
Vegas.
Intrepid. I think they moved some. I think they moved some of the stuff to the Intrepid Museum.
Oh,
Oh, I don't have any ice.
I heard there's a Star Trek thing in Las Vegas too.
A rocket refueling.
they used to have one in Las Vegas in the Hilton.
Oh, now we went to that when they had the Star Trek
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I
Monica
went
and
to
I
that
went to
too.
that.
Yeah.
When we stayed at the Stratosphere, we just got married. That was in 05. And hold on, stay on. Maybe that's a little
Touchdown.
touchdown, baby. So
Rob, hold on. Rob Altus says, at least he didn't say he had to drain his rocket.
man, I am so fighting my lip.
Yeah, so yeah, I did
He's
that one in
teeing
Las
us up
Vegas.
for the, they're trying to get me canceled.
We were, we were there for CES, and we went to the one in the Hilton. It was pretty cool. You
It
got to wear
was.
the
We had
you
the
had to wear the
Ferengis
uniform.
and the Vulcans serving us dinner
Yeah.
and everything. And yeah.
And we had we got pictures of us dressed up in the Star
They
Trek uniforms.
well, we didn't do that, but they didn't even fit me. But they had the Star Trek Experience. That's what it was.
Yeah,
and they had that magnificent, gigantic model of the Enterprise.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Is it still there?
No, it's been gone a long time. I think it just moved somewhere else.
Things don't last in Las Vegas. They have like a
but Las Vegas is always about the new and exciting. Yeah. You know, their rotation is part of their mantra. And before
they opened the world's biggest In-N-Out there.
Really? Actually, that's a surprising. Yeah. They had a McDonald's in Japan. They talked about. I went to the famous because Ken and I lived in D.C. area, and it was a DC area had the famous 3-story McDonald's that could serve, but Japan had the one that could serve like 16,000 meals an hour or some nonsense like that. I forget what it was, but
well, we have to kill them off quick before they take us over, so that's a good way to do it.
Okay, just going to get back to the black paint long enough to use these pictures that I took the time to put together for us.
Darn.
Okay, there's the Impala. The 67 Impala from Supernatural, which, by the way, a little trivia on that particular car, you will notice it has the police spotlights on the by the quarter window. Steve, you want to tell them what quarter windows were for?
Quarter windows were before you had air conditioning, that they could get the air in the car as you drove, and people smoked then, and they could kind of flick their cigarette out the little window.
Absolutely was. Now, I think they only had these spotlights in the first season and got rid of them after that. Turns out the reason that they had those spotlights was when they made the television show, they were looking for originally the boys were going to ride around in Mustangs, but the writers and the production people were like, yeah, but they're supposed to like capture people, put them in the back seat in the trunk. The Mustang's too small. And they looked around the lot and said, what we got that's handy? They had a pair of 67 Impalas that were painted up as police cars. And they went, hey, the 4 doors, big trunk, great, we'll use that. So they painted it all black, made Baby, which by the way did not have the big engine in it. Of course, it came, because it was supposed to be a police car, it came with the dual articulating spotlights, which, by the way, I did have on my police cruiser when I was a cop, my 86 Caprice and my 88 LTD. And after the first or second season, they decided to get rid of them. They felt they didn't need them. And the car, by then, was becoming the star of the show. But that's just a piece of useless trivia for you. That's how, and and just for those who are not into cars, this is a 1967 Chevrolet Impala 4-door hardtop, not a sedan. The sedan has the posts on the windows all the way around and has a slightly different shape to the top of the car. Because of this television show, 67 4-door hardtops have gone from a value of $1,800 to $40,000.
I remember when they introduced this kit, which was like in 2000.
Long overdue.
At Toy Fair. And I remember Tom Lowe showing it to me, and I looked at him and I said, who do you think's going to build a 4-door Chevy Impala kit? Let's see, I think they've sold 2.5 million of them so far. Yeah.
Yeah. That was because of the fans, absolutely because of the fans of the show. All the Impala kits, 67 Impala kits before them were 2-doors, which have a very different, and frankly, to be honest, Steve, I think the 4-door has a better look to it than the 2-door. But that's me. And I am highly prejudiced in this matter, so I admit that up front. But I knew I loved this show the minute I saw Dean Winchester pull out a nickel-plated 1911 A1. Oh, he carries a 45 automatic? All right, I like this show. Okay.
Dad says, Max, I sent you a screenshot of the Star Trek attraction in New York.
Okay, I'll see if I can dig it out here in a minute. You guys have to understand, while I'm doing a live stream, if I jump on my email, and by the way, we've been having the thunderstorms out here, so this email, so if this live stream suddenly drops offline, it might be due to weather. Although the weather seems to have cleared at the moment, but you never know. Anyway, so now we've been talking about painting black. A lot of guys know that the Royal Air Force painted the bottom of their bombers black, just as the U.S. Air Force did with the B-52s in Vietnam, obviously to help hide them. I mean, it's the fox of the Jerry's, as the English would say. If you're painting on it, we're getting into the airplanes now instead of the cars. The cars are tricky because it's gloss. It's almost always a high gloss, but airplanes, it's almost always a flat black. And I think flat black is probably the easiest paint to deal with. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Now, Chris Jordan and I recently did our Catalina build. We both did black Catalinas. This is one of the first times that an American airplane was basically painted all black. The thing you run into is, yes, you can just take black paint and rattle can the whole airplane, and you're fine, but just because it's black doesn't mean it doesn't. If you put it all in flat black, then you're talking about that's 10 minutes after the mechanics are done painting it. Because the stuff weathering, the color scheme and everything comes into play. But we had so many night fighters, so did the Germans and everybody else, the British, now that they painted black. Some of them were all black, some of them were mostly black. And I was like, good God, when I was looking for black aircraft, I typed in night fighters and scale mates, and it just blew up with black airplanes. I didn't realize they had MU-109s that were painted, or BF-109s that were painted all black. But
the issue with black is, as you go from flat to semi-gloss to gloss, the difficulty level multiplies by like a factor of 10.
It does. Flat's the easiest thing in the world to use. Semi-gloss, meh. Gloss gets a little tricky.
Yep.
Do you happen to know what chemically it is that they put in the gloss paint that makes it shine? Because that seems to be the thing that causes the fish eyes.
No, I don't.
But you look on the lower left at the Tiger Cat that's set up for night fighting in Korea. And by the way, guys, the Air Force and the Marines both learned during the Korean War, if you wanted to make a night fighter all black, but you wanted to put squadron letters on it, use red, not white. So I guess red didn't show up well at night. But and this gets into when you start trying to make the airplane have different colors. Like you want flat black, but you don't want to. I don't really. So you wind up hitting a hint of gray. Now you're getting to airbrushing, and you realize that making an accurate looking night fighter, yeah, you can just paint the whole model black and slap the decals on it, and it'll be okay for if you want to put it on your shelf. But if you want to really make something that you'd be proud to put on a table somewhere, now you're getting to all kinds of shading and everything else, and it starts getting a lot more involved real quick. What is Vanta black?
It's me.
And now the lovely Vanta will rotate the numbers. What's behind door number 3?
It's Vanna White's sister.
Yeah, her evil sister, her evil twin.
Her evil twin.
By the way, time to make a point of history. There were solid black Bolt and Paul Defiants. That is the Bolt and Paul airplane that had the 4-gun turret and for some reason no forward-firing guns, and it was called a fighter. It actually had some success as a night fighter. They did stick a primitive radar in there, and they were able to make some kills. The airplane, there is one in a museum in England that survived, and if you will look at this artwork, which I think is splendid, by the way, you will notice that although the airplane is painted black, there are a lot of other colors because paint chips off of airplanes, and then you have to figure about soot, which is a different kind of black, although it doesn't show nearly as well. It's still there because you got the crap coming out of the exhausts. And making a black airplane like this accurate and making it pop is a whole lot harder than it seems. And don't think you're going to take a little silver or chrome paint and just dab it around and splotch it. It'll be too bright, So basically you have to paint the whole model in aluminum and then put whatever you want as a block, spray paint it with the black paint, and then chip off the block. So that if you try to put the stuff on top, people will be able to tell at a glance. Trust me. I just had a chat.
I was just gonna say, this is a good time for me to eat my dinner while you're talking about watching paint dry. So I'm gonna black out for a few minutes.
Okay, you go away, Ken. We'll get by without you.
So Scott Sinaz 3000 says Vanta Black is the blackest black. It's a relatively new development.
You do realize that's going to be the name of my supervillain when I write my movie, Vanta Black.
There you go.
That is a supervillain name if ever there was a supervillain name. I mean, Dr. Doom was a little on the point, a little too.
That could be a woman too.
No, it would be a woman.
Yeah.
Vanta? Oh, absolutely. It's like Wanda. Yeah, no, that's a woman's name. Vanta Black, Mistress of the Dark. Oh my God. That is the name of the next not Scream Queen, but movie host like Elvira. Vanta Black. We're on to something, Steve. We're too ugly to be on television. That's why we have Faces for Radio.
Sure.
But we could put a show together and find some,
person.
Model. Yeah, some model to be Vanta Black. Yeah. Did you see that thing with the girl who does she works with Svengoolie about how she got the job and everything? And
oh yeah, she had a YouTube video about that.
Did you not find that a fascinating video?
Yes, I did.
Why don't you tell the people about it? Because I've been drinking, and my opinion can't be trusted.
I don't remember it, so I just remember I watched it. And I was like, oh, that's good, and I just paid it no mind.
There's this young girl and young guy who are both working with Svengoolie, who they talked about how they interviewed for the job and it's a real job. It's and she works hard at it. I got to give her credit. Okay, so anyway, back to painting things. But anyway, if you were to make this Bolton Paul Defiant and make it look like it does in the picture here, I would be genuinely impressed. It seems easy, and yeah, if you just want to put black paint on and slap the decals on, it is. But if you really want to make it look realistic, it is deceptively difficult to do. And this is all flat black, which is the easiest paint out there to work with, but that don't mean the highlights are easy. And then we got the Mosquito, the Mossy, the Haviland 98, which is this is the Night Fighter variant. I'm not even sure that's black. The Mac should be a dark gray. But the black airplane of black airplanes that everyone knows and loves, even though it wasn't as good an airplane as it could be, but God, did it carry some firepower, is the Black Widow, the P-61. And this airplane, I remember sitting in the Museum of the United States Air Force. I guess I was 13 or 14 years old. My brother, my dad, and I went there. And I was sitting under the wing of the Black Widow, watching archival footage and the report on like kamikazes. I think I'm sitting under a World War II night fighter, watching videos, and I was just as an airplane nerd, I was in heaven. And that was maybe the first time in my life I remember being aware of how fortunate I was to be where I was and doing what I was doing. And the P-61 was a little too slow to carry out the mission it was assigned for. By the time they got the thing built and got it in the air, technology kind of surpassed it. But it had 450 calibers and a rotating turret on top and 420 millimeters fixed into the belly. So this thing carried a whopping amount of firepower. It only scored not very many kills. The guy in the back in that glass blister in the rear, well, I believe that was the radar operator. The guy in the back seat was, I want to say the gunner, and the guy up front was a pilot. They are trying to get one of these things flying again. There's a group that's restoring one from a Hulk. And they've made a lot of progress, but I don't think it's anywhere near ready to fly yet. But I lost track of what they were doing. This was Northrop. And what they did with this airplane is a big radar up in the nose. What they did with this airplane, even though this airplane didn't really turn out to be everything they hoped it would be, but it was a great test bed. It was useful for other things. In fact, I read the book North Star Over My Shoulder by an old TWA captain who talked about when he got a job flying a Black Widow with, who's the actor that played the Thin Man? Was it Powell? Guy, he'd been a Marine Corps cargo pilot during the war. Oh gosh, who played the Thin Man?
Michael Rennie.
No. It was Powell. He always worked with Myrna Loy. William Powell.
Yeah.
And William Powell, sir, he died young, like 51 or 41 from a heart attack that they ran in his family. His dad and grandfather all died young from heart attacks. But Powell had qualified, I think, as a Marine Corps R4D pilot, which most of us know as a C-47, but Marine Corps. And I think it was after the war, he flew a Black Widow with Bob Buck. That was the guy who wrote North Star Over My Shoulder, Robert Buck. And they were basically paid to take it and do research in Central South America and the U.S. about thunderstorm activity in the ITCZ, the Inner Something Tropical Zone, blah, 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 where all the thunderstorms happen. And William Powell, yeah. And
Tropical Convergence Zone.
Intertropical, thank you, Ken.
Or Debbie.
Whatever. But
I'm on my wife's computer.
Yeah, he's on his wife's computer. So the point being that the Black Widow was used for a few things other than just being a night fighter for research and stuff. And he said he flew with William Powell for a long time down in Central America. And he made it a point in his book to point out that William Powell was a right up, straight, regular guy and not, prima donna or any other things some people suspected of him. But he died young from a heart attack, which ran in his family. It was a shame. He played the Thin Man series. He hadn't seen him. Him and Myrna Loy were perfect together. The sad point is, the reason I could remember it was Myrna Loy was from The Rocketeer. I know they held a bowl of fruit for Myrna Loy. Anyway. But again, you look at the monogram diorama done by Shep Payne, and you realize you can just, the kit came in black. As a kid, I didn't have money for paint. It came in black, so I built it, slapped the decals on it, put it on my shelf. It looked like crap. But I was happy when I was freaking 12, But if you really want to make this thing look like a working airplane, you got a lot of work ahead of you. Now, somebody mentioned the F-82. And here's another example of the red lettering on the post-war airplanes when they've just become the Air Force. And the F-82 twin Mustang, interesting concept, wild idea, moderately successful. They just got one flying again, as I imagine most of you know, that a very dedicated group of people got one flying again. And a friend of mine had the flight manual for one of those things, and it went in. Yes, the guy on the right did have some controls, but he didn't have everything, and it was he could get it back to base if something happened to the pilot. But conception, not a bad idea. The F-82's problem was it came about the time jets were coming on the scene, but it was very much an interim airplane, and it had the range and duration that jets didn't have. And with 650 calibers all bunched together between the two fuselages, it had a lot of concentrated firepower. And of course, it's got that gigantic radar, which was a meh use. But again, we're talking late 40s technology. But they scored a few kills in Korea. And
I can't think that thing would handle that good.
Actually, it did handle pretty well because it was still basically a Mustang. The thing that was about it that was odd was if you're in the left pod, and you're flying the airplane, you throw the stick left or right, it rotates about the center of the wing. So unlike a regular P-51 where it would rotate around your body, you're a little on the outside getting slung around. I imagine the guys got used to it. But it's one of the more bizarre and other countries have played with the same idea, even the Germans with the twin EB-109 or BF-109. Anyway, but it did work sort of. It was fast. It had long range and long duration. But it was very much a thing that came along as that technology was going out the door. But it still managed to get a few licks in while it could. it's an interesting idea, if not a bit on the bizarre side. But then again, what's bizarre? You remember Murphy's Law of Land Warfare #1. If it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid. It sort of worked. Of course, the monogram model, if you'll note, this kit has it with the radar for fight interception, long-range tanks, which makes sense, the drop tanks, but it's also got a pair of 500-pounders on it. So are we doing an air-to-air mission or an air-to-ground mission? We're doing air-to-ground. What do we need the radar for? So I can't say they never flew like this, but that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Then again, you didn't just drop the radar off that thing. It wasn't, plug and play like modern electronics. To remove that radar pod would have been a heck of a lot of work. And they may very well said, we need to drop some bombs, and you guys are here, so we're just going to stick them on you and make you go. And, yeah, I could see it being sent out that way, especially in the Korean War, which, if you've been watching Indy Idell's The Korean War, you start to realize what an ad hoc affair all of Korea was. And on a side note, my wife and I just watched MASH while we were on the ship. I forgot how crappy that movie really was. No, it was really an insult. I mean that genuinely. It was an insult to the military and the people that served. I mean, I get it. Robert Altman was trying to, kind of skewer the establishment. And they deserved it, but the movie itself was, that kind of crap they pulled was psychopathic. It would not have been overlooked. But I'm sorry, I'm getting on my. You guys let me drink. It's your fault. Now, get into a black.
I thought the scene where they pulled the side up on the women's shower tent.
That was on Hot Lips Houlihan, of course.
I know.
Look, none of us are going to object to seeing Sally Kellerman in the buff, but if you had done that, there would have been court-martials all around. Trust me, Ken, even in Korea, even for doctors.
I met her at an airport once. She was hysterical.
She was a beautiful gal,
Yeah, she was hysterical. She really was.
Of course, all of us still remember her from Star Trek, so
Yeah.
As well we should. We could have been God's captain. The only time they used the phaser rifle. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sailing off on a tangent. Okay. Now, in what was clearly a ripoff of Mike Machat's beautiful artwork, which I have hanging here in my office, we have the X-15. Special hobby, I don't know how good the kit is. I've built some special hobby kits, and I will tell you what, they are not for the uninitiated. They're very capable kits, but my God, are they detailed on the tiniest scale. They could give Fujimi lessons on how to be fiddly. But part of me has to admire that. If you're a good enough model builder to build one of these special hobby kits and make it look like it's supposed to look, my hat is off to you. But doing the X-15 is tricky because no two X-15s were the same. And every one of them looked different after every single flight. Yes, like most people, you can just shoot it in semi-gloss black, slap the decals on it, and call it a day. No one's going to criticize you. But, and having said but, if you really want to make a showstopper, you got to get in the weeds with it. That means micro scale sized aluminum showing underneath and a little bit of heat distortion. And black does not like heat distortion. You put the little clear blue on there that I like to use for heat distortion, like I did on the silver Vogel, and it looks great over chrome or aluminum or white or yeah. But you put it over black, and I can't see it. Now what do I do? That was a question, Steve. Now what do you do?
Right.
I'm just waiting for some comments. Yes, that's right. It was covered in a blade of white material. That is correct. Yeah. And that's the hardest one you're ever going to do, unless you're doing it the way it took off when it was all pristine white. You want to do it the way when it landed, which is the way a real modeler would do it. You got your hands full. And this is 1/32 scale, so there's room for detail.
Well, it's like doing the XB-70 after it flew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
all the paint flaked off.
Half the paint's off of it.
The F-82 used a different Allison engine. That is correct. I forgot. That's actually kind of a thing that should be pointed out. The F-82 did not use the Packard Merlin. It used Allison's. And I know that sounds like who cares, but trust me, that made a big difference.
Big difference.
Somebody said the A version used the Merlin.
Yes, the
B
original
version
P-51A, also known as the A-36 Apache, used Allison's. Although I think it obviously used a different variant. But they didn't have a supercharger on them, so above 15,000 feet, they petered out. It was the Brits that got the idea to put their Merlin engine on it that turned the Mustang into the world beater we know. And then Packard got the contract to make them in the United States, so American-made ones had Packard Merlins. The British just slapped Merlins on theirs. And
but our Merlins were better made because they're made to specs.
That is what I've heard, that the Packard Merlin was actually considered better than the Merlin. And since we're on that point, I should point something else out real quick. The Canadians, Avro in Canada, made a bunch of Lancasters, I think over 600 of them, if I remember correctly, which I probably don't. Even the British pilots acknowledged that the Canadian-made Lancasters were better than the British-made ones. I just noticed that guy's got his number 2 engine on fire. Ooh, that's a rough day at the office.
That would stand to be true because Canada didn't have any bombings or.
Yeah, their factories not getting bombed. They could take that. I think, be honest with you, Steve, I know this is going to sound a little nationalistic, but since I'm neither Canadian or English, I think as an American, I can say this with a certain amount of dispassion. I honestly think the Canadians just took more pride in their work.
Well, let's just say they were less
Rushed.
Rushed, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. They weren't getting bombed every day, so they could take their time. But how can I put this without sounding like a total heel? I think the Canadians wanted to show something to the British. Hey, yeah, we may live here in the Great White North, but we can do things that's better than you can, even better. It's kind of like a sibling rivalry.
Well, let me put it to you this way. If you take English cars as an example, yeah, the planes were about the same as the cars.
Night, Hoppy. Go ahead.
Which were made by crap. And that was after the war. So, I think it might have just been the mechanical skill set that they had more people that were better engineers and factory workers in Canada.
Canada's engineers are so good that America stole them.
Yeah. They all went to work for NASA after
That's
the
right. And Convair hired a bunch of them. Okay, my last, well, no, not my last, but we have, of course, Dinosaur. I painted mine black recently, but I didn't get too detailed with it. And since I never flew, but you could if you wanted to weather up a Dinosaur that had just come in for entry. For those who don't know, Dinosaur stands for dynamic soaring. And yes, this is what we were working on before Mercury. But when the Russians put Gagarin up in space, we realized the race was on. This was going to take years to develop. Mercury could be knocked out very quickly, which is why we went with the pod system instead of a reusable vehicle like this. And this would have sat on top of the rocket, not on the back of it, piggyback style like the shuttle, because even back then they realized there were concerns of debris falling off the rocket and hitting the damn thing. So pardon my French, but Dinosaur to me is the greatest what if and could have been. This to me is right next to the Rotodyne for what could have been, should have been, would have been, had things been just a hair different. And
they put a lot of money into the Dinosaur.
Oh yeah, that and all the Manned Orbiting Laboratory, both of them, a bunch of money went into it. And they made a lot of progress on it. If we had not been in such a rush to be the first, just let the Soviets do their thing and focused on a facile, reusable, sustainable program, this is how it would have gone. But it was all about beat the Joneses, which I shouldn't say that sarcastically because I love Mercury and Gemini and all of them. And I was that kid with the NASA tattooed on his heart, so, and I'm stealing that from another person that I heard say it. And I was like, yep, me too, buddy. But I've got my dinosaur right here, and it's just painted black like like the demonstrator they had in the lobby that never went anywhere. That's one of those things that kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Don't break my heart.
There's a model of that out in Arizona at the graveyard. They have a museum there. There's a model of it, like a full scale one.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't a big vehicle. It was only like one or two people.
Yeah, 2 people top. Yeah, it's 2.
The other one that's in black that we all know and love is the U2. Only the U2 is not entirely black as you see in this picture. There's a lot of lighter blacks and grays involved. Again, when I built my U2s, I just shot them black and was done, hung them to the ceiling. But if I was going to make one today, it is actually a tricky kit because if you see a U2, you realize, hey, this thing is not Vantra black. It's actually a lot of dark gray on it. And this becomes a very difficult thing to get the color pattern right on. By the way, that one's in Taiwanese markings. And yes, the Taiwanese did fly the U-2 a great deal. In fact, for overflights of China, we were not allowed to send Americans or CIA operatives, only Taiwanese.
They're supposed to be launching something very similar to the dinosaur pretty soon on Falcon 9, I think. I can't quite remember the name of it, though.
That's kind of sad in a way, Ken, when nerds like us don't even know the latest advances in the...
Well, I'm getting old as crap. So
well, it's not even that. It's that they're working with so much stuff. It's hard to keep track of.
I'm sure somebody out there will know what it is, but I can't. It just escapes.
To
I know what it
Rob
looks like.
Altus's-
I can picture it.
Hold on. To answer Rob Altus's question, yes, Taiwan had a bunch of... Actually, I think they belonged to the CIA, but the CIA was not, after Gary Powers, they were not about to let an American get shot down over China. So they had the Taiwanese fly them. And the Taiwanese lost a bunch of reconnaissance aircraft over China. And
Dream Chaser.
Oh, wait a minute. That thing's still going? I thought they canned that project.
Nope. Still around.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was, good. Good on them. The Russians had that very freaking same design like 30 years ago. But they didn't. I think they flew theirs once. And then, great, it works. Park it. Yes, the Taiwanese were used to fly U-2s. In fact, there was what was the name of the place? Corvallis? Is that where the Chinese pilot made the emergency landing in the U-2? I was in their airport one time. They have pictures of it all over the place. Let me tell you guys a story. The Taiwanese.
Do we get a choice?
No, you do not. So grin and bear it. The Taiwanese provided pilots to fly the U-2 over China, and they had Taiwanese markings. And the pilots are trained out of Beale Air Force Base, if I'm not mistaken. And they flew out over New Mexico and all these other places. Now, here's one of the problems with the U-2. Everything had to be light. So there weren't a lot of redundant systems in it because the lighter it was, the higher it could go. And trust me, a couple of 100 pounds matters at 75,000 feet. So this Chinese pilot, and you have to understand, Taiwanese pilot, and you have to understand these guys are like imperial Japanese dedicated to the job. All right? I mean, they were borderline suicidal if it came to that. The pilot was up at altitude and the engine failed, which they were prone to do. U-2, being up to that thin air, had more trouble with that engine than people realized, and they had flameouts or comment. I personally saw one in a TR-1, the follow on the U-2. I won't bore you with that story, but it happens. Okay, so the guy's engine flames out. Well, everything, life support, everything ran off the engine. So when the engine quit, the cockpit immediately lost pressurization. Of course, they're flying in spacesuits, so his spacesuit inflated. Right? You with me so far?
Mhm.
Okay. But the loss of pressure in the cockpit meant that all of his instrument or his windshield and everything, it all froze and misted over and was like flying in a simulator. He had solid white glass. All he had was his instruments, and even the glass on the instruments was starting to freeze. All right? Now, being a dedicated Taiwanese, his attitude was Taiwan has plenty of pilots. What they don't have is U-2s. I'm not leaving the airplane. I'm going to try to save it. Now, part of me wants to salute this guy, and part of me wants to go WTF. So, he starts gliding, sets it up for best glide, cannot see a thing. He's just using his basic instruments that are still working. And the gyros are spinning down on those. He doesn't know it, but apparently, because he couldn't see outside, he came within a couple of 100 feet of a mountain ridge line as he sailed over it. Completely oblivious, right? He's just holding best glide speed. He knew where the nearest runway was, which was, I want to say Corvallis, but it wasn't Corvallis. It was someplace out there in New Mexico. One of the blue troopers knows and landed in here. Anyway.
Couldn't you do a relight?
No, he tried. It wouldn't refill. He'd actually had like a busted fuel line or something. It wasn't going to restart on him. And he did go through all the procedures. I want to say Corvallis. But anyway, so he's dead staking it to where he thinks it is. And of course, there's overcast and undercast. And God bless this guy. He could have pulled the handles at any time and safely ejected. But he was like, nope, my country has plenty of pilots. What it does not have is airplanes. And this was, I think, a Taiwanese airframe. I think it was owned by, that's how those contracts tend to work. Anyway. So, eventually he breaks out below the cloud barrier. And it's warm enough now that the windows thaw. And he can see. And he sees runway lights. Now, there's a story there. The mayor of this town had been, as the way the story was told to me, the mayor of this town had been a P-47 Thunderbolt pilot during the Second World War. And he had mandated that the runway lights will be on all night at our airport in case the pilot has to make an emergency landing. I don't know who this guy is, but I swear to God I could kiss him. So, anyway,
okay.
He sees the runway lights. And you guys have to understand, a U-2 is, although it's a great glider, it's a very hard airplane to get down. Even with the boards out, it just wants to stay in the air. That's why they have the car following, calling out the distances of the pilots. It's a lot of guys wash out in the U-2 program, just like they wash out of the SR-71 program. These airplanes operate on the extremes. It takes a delicate, deft hand, which is why I'm glad I never had to embarrass myself by trying to fly one. Anyway, he dead sticks it in and lands at this airport in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico, in the middle of the night. Now, you got to understand, he's wearing a full pressure suit with the helmet and everything. And like all military pilots, he's carrying a sidearm. He lands. There's nobody there. Pops the hatch, gets out, hops down. Sees this tiny little shack where there's like a night watchman, like 80 years old. Walks over to it because the only thing with a light on. Kicks the door, throws the door open. And there's like this 80-year-old white guy who looks up and sees an Asian man in a spacesuit waving a .38. And goes, "Secret plane, you guard now." And the guy apparently dropped over and had a heart attack.
Oh, God.
Well, it's not something you see every day. Mars attacks.
Yeah, pretty much what the guy thought. Oh my God, the Chinese have invaded. So they call, now the Air Force rushes out there. They've lost the airplane. They don't know what happened to it. He calls them and tells them. They race out there, secure the airport, secure the airplane, lock everything down. SPs all over the place. The old man gets whisked off to the hospital. This is the way the story was told to me. I'm sure there was some writer embellishment, but it just works better this way. If I make the movie about this, that's how I'm going to show it. So
Are
they
you
get
gonna
the
play the old
airplane.
man?
Huh?
Are you gonna play the old man?
Yeah, probably. Be the perfect cameo role for me. Anyway, so but instead of her, I'll just have him look at the guy and go, okay. If you don't hurt me, I will gladly be happy to turn on my neighbors. But I don't know if they
Kinda like-
flew it out of there, if they pulled the wings on it, what they did, but they got the plane back. Anyway, if you go to that airport today, there's pictures all over the place in the lobby. They're very proud of what happened. And I got to honor the guy for sticking with the airplane and saving it. Anyway, Citizen Vigilante, is that the movie that they banned in Germany? You guys remember the movie Vigilante with Frank Ward and Fred the Hammer Smith or whatever his name was, the big
Williamson.
Williamson, thank you. You have seen it. Apparently,
No, I've seen Fred the Hammer.
okay. Anyway, Fred the Hammer Williamson and Fred Ward, and it's a vigilante movie. You know, the guy's family's murdered, kind of like Death Wish, but a little more to the point. Anyway, he apparently in Germany someone just made a similar movie, and Germans have banned it. You literally cannot see it in Germany. Okay, so the other one, which I did recently, hold on, before I drop the picture here. Okay, it's the SR-71. I've got mine right here. Let me go get it. Ooh, it's not there. Where did I put my SR-71?
It flew away.
It did. It was right there. Where the heck did I move the thing?
What is he looking for?
My SR-71. It was on that shelf forever until I rearranged it. Where the heck is it?
You put it someplace where you wouldn't forget where it is.
That's exactly what I did. Oh, you know what? I think I put it in the main room. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Oh, God, it's staring right at me the whole time. Stand by. Oh, that did not work.
In front of the sailing ship.
Whoa! Boy, all I did was open the doors and two things fell over. Reminds me how delicate all my setups are. Good move. Yes, Max, have a couple of cocktails and then play with the model. Nothing bad could possibly happen. Oh, okay. Okay, we're about to be back on camera, guys, so quit picking your noses. All right, this is my SR-71, and yes, I got all the decals on it.
Ooh.
And it's a little hard to tell with this camera, but there's all kinds of subtle shading on here to get the wear patterns to look right, which the camera does not seem to be able to pick up. You can see them with the naked eye. Swear to God, you can.
Natasha says Max is a true blonde.
My wife's favorite phrase is, shh, her blonde is showing.
Oh!
But yeah, the camera can't really pick it up. Even photos don't pick it up that well. You can see it with the naked eye, but cameras, of course, lose a lot. But I put a ton of shading on the seam lines, and
Looks nice on camera.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm
see
going to
it.
make myself big here. I'm going to unpin you guys so that I can be big on screen because I'm the big man.
He needs a bigger screen.
I need a bigger screen, yeah. I'm going to unpin you here. Let's see.
That means we can leave now, Ken.
No, it does not remove pin. It means no such thing. Don't you go anywhere. Let's see. Okay. There. Holding it like this. I think you guys can see some of the shading along here.
Yeah, I see it.
So that was surprisingly difficult to do. And once you
looks like a bad paint job.
huh?
Nothing.
I haven't had that much to drink.
Nothing.
But getting the ribbon patterns like that and everything takes a lot of concentration and patience. And then once you get it all in there, you have to go back over with the black again to subdue it. And a lot of delicate airbrushing to get those striations and everything in there. but it looks great. I'm gonna repin you guys. Quit! I'll go knock it off. It was.
Tom Fox says, wouldn't it be funny if Max couldn't find his stealth fighter?
It's right.
As it flies around his head.
I'm gonna close this while I put this back up in case there's an accident. I'll let you laugh.
Oh, we would never do that, Max.
Please.
Never do that. We have too much respect for you.
Well, he can't even say that without laughing.
Yeah, here we go. Super PLC. Another shelf collapse is imminent.
Heck no. This is IKEA kind of stuff.
You know, there's another black plane you left completely out of this.
There's a bunch of them I left out. The bat plane and others.
No, I mean a real plane.
What?
Canberra.
Yep, the Canberra and the the Sky Warrior and a whole bunch of them. Okay. It's safe and sound back on the shelf.
That's
Right
right.
there.
You were talking about the black Catalinas earlier. Never mind.
What?
You were talking about the black Catalinas earlier, so
Mhm.
never mind about that one. I'm trying to think, what other ones are there?
Oh, there's a bunch of them, Ken. There's Hawker Hunters, and there were all kinds of all black night fighters. There is no shortage of them.
The
And-
Playboy jet.
Yeah, well, I didn't think about that. But yeah, actually, the Playboy jet. I actually know somebody who worked on that airplane as a mechanic. He was the president of maintenance. What?
JM says the Boneyard AMARC has a display row including an F-117, just the 3 tires and the cockpit ladder.
I saw that when I was out there. It's just 3 landing gears to go stealth fighter. And yes, 2 of them are flying again for as Op 4 aircraft. No,
Yeah,
one to
this is-
727 was a DC-9-31. Because I
Gavin
know
says,
the
come
guy.
on.
Huh? Good.
Gavin says, come on, Max. Even the Serbians found an F-117.
Oh, too soon. They did though. They did, but that was the Air Force's fault for always using the same entrance and exit points. And what they did, habitual line crosser, was an air defense guy, talked about that. And they noticed the F-16s, everything came in packages the same way. And they had actually tracked them for some time using, I want to say, low frequency radar, long, yeah, which can actually pick up a stealth aircraft. But
because it's out of the frequency range of the absorption material on the aircraft.
Right. But the thing is that it normally takes a long time for the computers to process the information. So by the time you figure out where you got the paint, he's already gone. But they worked at it for a couple of weeks and got better and better and better until finally they set up a trap and got him. The Air Force claimed that one of the bomb bay doors stuck open. But other people say, no, they figured out how to break through the stealth. And I'm inclined to think that's actually the truth. The Air Force was saying the thing about the door stuck. But it's because you never want to admit the truth to something like that, not because of embarrassment, because of it's a tactical advantage for your enemy. So whatever the case was, they did get one. They got the pilot back, but just like they got Scott O'Grady in the F-16, because we were just gotten so confident we're doing the same thing every day. It made it easy for them.
Somebody said they painted an F-14 black.
Yeah, they did, the Playboy plane. Never underestimate the cultural importance of Playboy.
Why would they paint it black? What were they trying to do with it?
Playboy. The Playboy plane was black with a bunny on the tail.
The
No, he's talking about F-14.
Yeah, they painted an F-14 that way.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're the Navy. Hold on, let me get a picture of it.
I seriously doubt they just painted it just for the fun of it.
You were clearly never in the Navy.
Nope.
Well, Ken, I beg to differ because here it is.
Oh, I don't doubt it exists. You just think there would be a mission for it to paint it black.
Yeah, to make a bunch to motivate a bunch of horny sailors.
You fly over the Playboy Mansion, Ken.
Yeah,
Oh, like they needed to be motivated.
Ken.
Yeah.
Guys, just the idea that they could do that and feel some Oh, wow, that's a small picture. Let me see if I can find a better one. That is a terrible. Okay.
Because the Phantom with that paint scheme was aging out.
Yeah, really. That about sums it up.
Ken, you need to turn the light on.
Actually, there is one on, but
Oh,
I guess.
it got real dark because you can see the sun's gone down.
Yeah, let me point it back a little bit more towards me. Maybe that'll help. So,
Folks,
Better.
we embrace the lowest
Is that
production
better?
values on
Yep.
the internet.
I could turn this light on over here, but it's an ugly white color.
Okay, let's crop that. File.
It helps
Save
kill
as
shadow a little bit.
JPEG. Let's go to 246. PBUSN.
The Black Bunny DC-9 too, huh?
Oh, that was a famous airplane. Ken, did you never read a play? It was right in your time of younghood.
I never saw a Playboy magazine, not once.
That was like all over the place.
Dennis says, we missed Captain Max last week.
Okay, here we go. Here's our Playboy F-14. Okay. There's that bad boy. And yes, Ken, it was done strictly for Cool Beans points and nothing else.
Ken must have been reading Penthouse or Swank.
Or Jugs or Hustler. Hustler was, even as a teenager, even I thought Hustler was a little on the grungy side. My God, is that what our YouTube channel has deteriorated into? I mean, I'm not.
Careful there, Wendell. Careful.
Watch the comments, guys. We have kids watching.
No. Nothing bad. Just
No.
just,
We don't want to. We just don't want to let that out of the bag.
no. We want to be careful.
Okay. But the
Wendell, don't spoil the fun.
Yeah.
everybody lost tonight.
So where's the picture?
There it is. What's up, Beth?
Oh, I got it up here. You
I
don't
can't
see
see
it?
that part. I have to switch over. I'm only on one monitor tonight.
Okay. Well, that's half your problem.
Nope, I'm not seeing it. It's just us. Oh, there it is. Okay. It just came up. How many of those were there?
How many?
Oh, wait, one.
Only one. It was just one of those things they did. It was post-Vietnam, and it was one of those things where it's good for recruitment because you're trying to get a bunch of 18-year-old guys to sign up, and the Navy had the good sense to realize that maybe we should go with what's popular, stay with the trends. But I don't blame them. I mean, the Navy had a really tough job. I mean, all the military did after Vietnam, trying to get young guys to enlist. So they did things like this basically as motivational. And
Just show episodes of China Beach.
Yeah. Because everybody was going to fall for that. And, okay, there's 2 airplanes left to talk about. We talked about the SR-71. We also have, of course, the stealth fighter. I have this very kit opened up, and I will give the stealth fighter credit. It's pretty straightforward. It's basically just basic black. You don't need a lot of shading on this one. But by comparison, the B2 has a ton of this gray marking all over it that makes it actually a pretty, which is normally done with decal. Although you could paint it light gray, mask everything with thin tape, hit it with the medium gray, then hit it with the black, and it would probably look better. But The difference between an F-117 and a B-2 is day and night and the complexity, even though they're both stealth aircraft. And painting with black with this thing, you know, I'm not even sure. That's really more charcoal.
It is. It's more gray than black.
And
the leading edges are black. The rest of the plane's more like
and
gray.
the underside largely is. But anyway. So that was all those things. There is one thing though. I meant to put it down here. Here. I've got my little Seattle Space Needle. And I meant to have it up here with my little Godzilla next to it. But you can't really see
There it is, guys.
He said it.
Okay.
Okay.
An hour and 21 in.
That may be a record for the longest time it ever took me to get around to that.
It is.
Well, some of the members were starting to wonder.
They were asking the question, when's it
Well,
coming?
nothing is guaranteed in life, you know. Oh, hold on. Oh, where is this? Come back here.
Except a good time on the live stream.
There we go. There, now you can see them.
Oh, KOS&C says, Max, can you find a picture of the SR-71 Rabid Rabbit? It has the Playboy bunny on the tail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Give me a minute here. Normally, just have a skunk on the tail.
I guess the Air Force didn't want to get outdone, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Rapid Rabbit. There we go. Trying to find a picture that actually shows the thing where you can see the plate, because they all seem to want to focus just on the tail.
Because that's where the logo is.
Yeah, exactly. And unlike the name, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I'll give you one better. No, that's got the Skunk Works logo on it. Hold on. God, the Air Force put it on real small. And instead of being the actual it's the Playboy bunny, but they call it Rapid Rabbit instead of the Playboy bunny because they're weenies. God sakes,
yeah, I read
guys,
that.
freaking.
I said Rabid Rabbit. I said that wrong.
Rabid Rabbit.
Well, I said Rabbit. You said Rapid.
That's what it says here. Rapid Rabbit.
Yes, but I said it wrong.
Getting a lot of bat plane comments here.
What?
Getting a lot of bat plane comments.
Well, I mean, the bat plane was black, but that's also fictitious.
Then it flew great.
No, those wings.
Until the Joker shot it down with one shot from a handgun.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, that airplane would not have flown well.
Not too good against anti-aircraft fire, huh?
Not too good because of the weird scallops in the wings.
I'm talking about getting shot down.
Well, that movie was very stylized, and it was a living comic book, so it gets a pass. Okay.
No, Max just spat in his belfry.
Ha ha.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go.
My wife just brought dessert.
Well, I know that always distracts me.
Yeah, good stuff.
What'd you bring? There is Rapid Rabbit.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Chocolate French pudding.
Ken, I just got off a cruise ship. That's called lunch. Cream brulee was served with every dinner. Although
how did you not gain 100 pounds on a
I
cruise
did
ship?
put on,
Food
according to the
was free.
scale today, I put on about 13, which is a miracle given that we're only gone 10 days. That's got to be a record even for me.
So that's 1.3 pounds a day.
Yeah, well, I'll weigh again in the morning, but I'm not expecting things to be much better. Ken, you of all people should not underestimate my capacity for self-abuse.
It's like, so have you lost any of it since then?
We literally got home this morning.
Oh, okay. When'd you get off the ship?
Yesterday at 7:30 a.m., we spent 12 hours in Seattle and then caught a red-eye home. Got in at 7:30 and drove straight to Jacksonville. At the house at 9:33. And the first thing I did after unpacking my bag, taking a shower, and making sure everything was good to go here was start getting ready for the live stream.
I would have thought a nap would have been appropriate.
So close. We were so close, Steve.
I know.
Oh, well.
Almost, but no nanner. All right. Well, that's Rabbit. Okay, guys. The official live stream is now over at 8:45, and we can go into the whatever you want to talk about section.
Oh, okay.
I still had some left. I thought it was empty.
So where did you get this lovely little space decanter?
Dropping back here. At the Space Needle.
Oh,
I was right. Yeah.
there you go.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way, you know that Lego JetBlue little thing I got you?
Yeah.
It came from the Space Needle.
Really?
Yep. In the gift shop on the bottom.
Yeah, that's where I got all this. Well, not the Godzilla. When were you there?
On my way back from Alaska.
Oh yeah, when because I visited you up there.
Yeah.
And we had a moose burger.
I met up with Kawakot on the way back.
Ah, great Dave. You guys would have loved Dave. Sadly, he's passed away. But Dave, tell him about Dave.
He is a very interesting character. He really liked trains a lot.
Who doesn't?
Which probably explains why he was never married.
Yeah, Ken, that's part of the reason.
Yeah, true. That was part of the reason. Very much a geek. Very much a geek. Just like a big kid with toys all the time.
He was our kind of people.
But he was generous, though.
To answer Stuart Gregory said, the B-25, I haven't touched it since I got back. I won't get into the shed till tomorrow or the next day. Continue.
My heroin comes from a Space Needle.
Okay.
Okay, take a second for that to connect. Okay, good one, Eric.
Yeah, I had to get through the rocket juice.
I have a model of the Space Needle
Really?
Try and get
that was made back when they had the World's Fair there, like in 61 or 2.
62.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can buy hats that say 1962. So they were very big on that in the little tour.
When I was there with my wife, we had lunch up in the restaurant up there, and they said, well, we have to go to the gift shop. And we go to the gift shop, and they have a 7-foot tall Space Needle model. And I looked at this, and my wife said,
Don't even think about it.
they said, you could drive back because you're not bringing that on the plane.
Just mail it back to you.
They do have large. They do have like.
Can I try?
They do have like 1 and 2 foot tall models there, and Monica and I were looking at them, and we almost bought. In fact, I had it as one of the models, and I said, you know what this needs? I'm not skipping a beat. She goes, a Godzilla, and absolutely.
Yes.
And they had one with it scaled out nicely, but I was like, you know what? It was $59. I was like, Godzilla never ate the Space Needle. Tokyo Tower, yes, but and so that's why I went to. I just clipped it on
Well,
right there.
he never ate a submarine either, did he?
Oh, he ate a bunch of them.
In the movie?
Oh,
We
God,
grabbed
he got
him, he ate him.
yeah, he got the what was it, the Seahawk, and then the was it
Atragon.
Atragon. Yeah, Godzilla. There's an old joke, Ken, that he's got his that equates to a snowball's chance in hell or in the oven, and that is, yeah, he's got a submarine's chance in a Godzilla movie, which is one of the reasons. Which is one of the reasons the legendary movies lack credibility with some hardcore Godzilla fans, is because that's where they all go out on the deck of the submarine, you know, and he shoots it, and like, he didn't destroy the submarine. What the hell kind of Godzilla flick is this?
You know,
But
you know,
oh, he got the submarines, and even in the Matthew Broderick movie, which
Yeah.
don't say the name. It's it and that movie about the Japanese attacking a harbor in Hawaii. We do not say their names.
the fact that you guys even know the names of the submarines that Godzilla ate is just amazing to me.
Ken, if
And
you're a
that's
better
why,
nerd,
that's why they have a Godzilla channel on Pluto.
Max, can you update your last missile discussion? Revell makes a 1-110 Jupiter, and Reagan signed the INF in '87. The new Jeff Daniels. See the new Jeff Daniels. You see, that's what I get for getting my information off the internet. Got my dates wrong. But actually, there were a couple of different treaties. The one that limited the Pershing and the Lance, it gets confusing because there's a lot of them. Every time I dig into this, of course, it's distinctly possible I get some bad information. Steve, is your Space Needle model from Superior?
I don't know. I'd have to check because it's in the back.
Oh, stippled back cowl images. No. But the Space Needle was built in '62 for the World's Fair they had there. And to be honest, it's what, 600 feet tall, I think. And when you get right down to it, although they did point out, and when we were driving down, the guy pointed out this one building. This was the tallest building west of the Mississippi for like a long time, until, you know, the first skyscraper in Seattle. Seattle, being on the West Coast, is a little bit of a late bloomer, but oh, by the way, nobody's ass, so I'll offer it without being prompted. While we were in Seattle, we did see all of the things for which Seattle is both currently well known and criticized, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay,
right
yeah. Okay, Lance Revell says Godzilla never ran up against the Seaview or the Stingray. Well, I guess he means the flying sub.
Well, no. Godzilla and the Stingray were never. It's Godzilla, Stingray, and the Seaview and the Flying Sub were never in the same universe.
Right.
Although it's like they begged to be. And
Yeah, the sci-fi on Voyage Beneath the Sea after a while got pretty bad.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. The Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, I think, suffered the same fate as another Irwin Allen production. That's the Lost in Space. The first season was pretty strong, and then it got into some kind of goofy stuff later on. And
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, you guys have to understand, Irwin Allen was a television show producer. He was going to follow whatever the trend was to stay popular, to get commercial ad space, to keep the shows on the air. You know, he did not have the luxury of saying, you know, we're creating some artistic endeavor, and we won't compromise our values. That simply wasn't available to him. And had he stayed with hard science fiction, the show would have been off the air even sooner. And so there you go. The original movie, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea with Walter Pidgeon, I really like that movie. And yeah, it's very dated by today's standards. Of course, it had Barbara Eden, a hobble skirt, so, you know, there you go.
I didn't know Barbara Eden was in that.
She's the nurse on the submarine.
Never noticed. Of course, I
Yeah.
was a little kid.
You clearly haven't seen it as an adult.
No.
And
Well, I don't know. I saw part. I think I saw an episode many years ago. I was like, I used to watch this.
well,
This is
Ken, you also
bad.
used to be 8 years old.
Yeah, true.
I remember seeing so much stuff on television that I thought was scary or cool or whatever, and now I look at it and I snicker. And no greater example than when I was about 8 years old and I saw the original Godzilla movie. It freaking I've told you guys this before, but I'm going to hit it again. There were 3 things I saw on the screen that just terrified me beyond description: War of the Worlds, The Invaders, and Godzilla. And of course, like I said, I was like 8 years old. But now, I mean, Steve got freaked out by The Fly, but again, he was like 6. Yeah. Now I look at it now and I snicker. But I used to actually have like nightmares about Godzilla trying to chase me down and all that kind of stuff, you know. And now, of course, I'll laugh at it. And I love when I have dreams now that have Godzilla, and I'm like, ooh, I'm for a good ride. And of course, he looks at it and he's kind of bored. Well, if you're not scared of me, what's the point? It's kind of like if you saw The Boys when Homelander is dealing with the Legend, you know. And those of you who've watched The Boys know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like, you didn't watch The Boys, did you, Ken?
Watch what?
The Boys.
No.
Oh, okay. Basically, they have a psychopathic, absolutely psychotic psychopath of Superman, and he just zaps anybody he doesn't like for any meager reason, and called Homelander. And this ex-Hollywood talent scout type, you know, agent, he's dealing with, he figures Homelander's going to kill him like he does everybody else because he exposes himself, you know, how weak he is psychologically in front of him. But then he actually shows a little bit of actual honest sympathy for the guy, and Homelander lets him go. But it's probably the best scene in the whole series. Go look up Homelander and the Legend, you know, and you'll see. But Paul Reiser, great actor. We just saw him. We just watched the original Aliens, not Alien, but Aliens, with Paul Reiser. One time he played a villain, and you know, the guy's a good actor who probably didn't get enough credit. But
Good to kill us. Says Space 1999 Dragon's Domain haunts me to this day.
there you go. You see, when you're young and you see something that scares you or terrified, it gets into your root fears, which all humans have. I mean, they're part of our survival instinct. And now, I did not realize at the time that Godzilla, there's one thing that Godzilla, The Invaders, and War of the Worlds all have in common. They are all Cold War analogies. Godzilla is a stand-in for nuclear weapons. The Invaders is a stand-in for communist infiltration. And as are a lot of the movies that are like, that's one of the reasons they say that the what's the one with the pod people? God, I am really starting to worry how I'm having trouble remembering things. But what?
KLSC says, I watched Max, Ken, and Steve. So how could clowns
scare me.
clowns
There you
scare
go.
me?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, War of the Worlds, and The Invaders are all metaphors for communist infiltration.
Yes, they are.
Okay, Godzilla is a stand-in for nuclear weapons. One of the reasons King Kong is so popular, he's not a stand-in for anything. He's just a big monkey having a good time in New York.
And there's a lot of them that do that every night.
There you go. But those movies and others, you know, the whole alien invasion, you know, Mars attacks, they are all basically stand-ins for communism. Now, the height of the Cold War, you have to understand, and I know a lot of us probably, and Gavin, this is more for you than most folks here, because I know most of us are already well aware of this because of our generation. But you have to understand in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, even the 70s, the thing we were scared of, probably more than anything else, was nuclear annihilation or communist infiltration. And at a distant third would have come some kind of biological warfare, which is one of the reasons the Omega Man was such a big hit. And because you watch the Omega Man, I watched it again not too long ago, and I'm a huge Charlton Heston fan. But you look at it and go, it's not really that great, but it was very much of its time, you know. And
you look off in the distance, in one of the scenes, you can see a car driving down
yeah,
the road.
you know, so he wasn't the only one. And although I think the Will Smith one was actually a little closer to the book. I think the Vincent Price one may have been closer to the book than any of
The
them.
Vincent Price one was the closest to the book.
I remember seeing it as a kid, and I had no idea what the heck was going on. And
That's a great movie.
It is. It actually is. And the one thing as I got older that I realized, Vincent Price made a bunch of mistakes, and one of them was he walked around with this little pocket pistol tucked in his belt. I'm like, no, dude. You go around like Dirty Harry. You got like a 9-gun strapped on you. You're ready to go full auto on him. You know?
You get an Uzi.
By the way, here's a piece of trivia for you. My brother just sent me, the gunsmith. There was a case, you know the old cowboy 6-shooter, right? Cock and fire. I had, as much as I know about guns, it was all completely new to me. There was a legal case many decades back where a guy with a cowboy pistol accidentally went, and I'm not joking, you're not hearing this wrong, fully automatic. I know. How can a gun that has to be hand-cocked go fully automatic? If you
just pull the trigger back.
No. It had nothing to do with any of that. It was even I was like, okay, that's not even physically possible. All right. If you take an old cowboy pistol and take the cylinder out of it and look where the firing pin comes in to hit the primer, you will see a small circle. Now that is a piece that can be removed, okay? Because that's where the bullet backs up every time it fires. That piece can wear out, so it can be replaced by a gunsmith. Apparently in the Old West, gunsmiths who were out in the Old West in the frontier and did not have all the proper tools would replace that piece, but they didn't have the proper Colt tool to seat it. So they would just use like a punch to pin it in. All right, expand the metal around the rim. This guy didn't know it, but some gunsmith had done some hack job work on it, and it had popped out. So he had a big hole where the hammer comes in. So when this trespasser attacked him, he cocked the gun and said, "Stay back." When he fired, without that piece of metal that's the firing pin's supposed to go through, the primer, when he fired, the primer had nothing to hold it in place. So the primer shot back, recocked the gun, and went flipping out of the gun. Well, the guy was holding the trigger down, so it just kept firing. And he stitched the guy up. And I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. So yes, under the right conditions, an old single-shot Colt Peacemaker could go full auto on you.
Maybe that's where they came up with the idea for the 1911.
No. No, that was the genius of John Moses Browning. But I was just, you're never too old to learn.
True. Well, the clock on the wall says our time has come to an end.
Holy crap, it already is. We're already there. My God, this shot by.
I share a quick story?
Sure. Where the live stream's over, we can do what we want.
It was an hour. Okay. It's about my vote, actually.
So this will be long.
No, it won't. It's pretty short, actually. We were talking to some people that are 2 boats down in the marina here from us. They're on the temporary slip, and So I was talking. There's a couple, younger couple, and I was talking to the girl. She's washing. She's in her dinghy, actually washing the side of the boat. Anyway, so we start talking, and after a little bit, she asked, what's the name of our boat? And I said, Deb said, my wife, she said, well, it's kind of in transition. We're putting a new name on it. She said, well, what was the old and the new name? I said, well, the old name is Wayward, and the new name is Deep Thought. She said, oh, I used to know a couple that had a Catalina like yours. It was called Wayward. As it turns out, they knew the previous owners of our boat. They were good friends. Yeah. They went to the Bahamas and all over the place.
That makes perfect sense.
I mean, of all the boats that you could meet and just happen to run into these people and just happen to mention that.
Ken, the marina isn't that big. It's like the airport, You're always bumping into people who know people. Get used to it.
So did you ask them what they crashed into and blew up on the boat by the time they had it, before you got it?
Oh, did you know that this happened to the boat? Well, guys, it's that time. We're going to say our good nights and let everybody go. Ken, Steve, I'll let you say adios, and then I'll sign off for the outro.
Good night, guys. This has been well worth the wait for Max to come back to have another live stream. It was full of fun and information. Hope to see you next week.
Yeah. Hey, Wild Dad says, Ken finally gets to speak. Yeah.
We allow it once in a while.
Yeah, well, yeah. Even a blind squirrel gets a nut. Thanks, guys, for coming by. Appreciate y'all's comments. We know you probably got something better to do than come to this, but we're glad you did anyway. So
no, I really don't think they do. That was cold, man.
Have a good evening.
Guys, next month I actually have a couple of social events that are going to keep me occupied for a couple of weekends. I might do some middle of the week live streams or whatever. I'll keep you posted as the time goes by. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming out. I hope you had a little fun. We had a great time on the cruise. I'll put together a nauseatingly boring video about it. Take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.
You wonder why I always dress in black, why you never see bright colors on my back. And why does my appearance seem to have a somber tone? Well, there's a reason for the things that I have on. I wear the black for the poor and the beaten down, living in the hopeless, hungry side of town. I wear it for the prisoner who has long paid for his crime, but is there because he's a victim of the time. I wear the black for those who've never read or listened to the words that Jesus said about the road to happiness through love and charity. Why, you think he's talking straight to you and me. Well, we're doing mighty fine, I do suppose, in our streak of lightning cars and fancy clothes. But just so we're reminded of the ones who are held back, up front there ought to be a man in black. I wear it for the sick and lonely old, for the reckless ones whose bad trip left them cold. I wear the black in mourning for the lives that could have been. Each week we lose 100 fine young men. And I wear it for the thousands who have died, believing that the Lord was on their side. I wear it for another 100,000 who have died, believing that we all were on their side. Well, there's things that never will be right, I know, and things need changing everywhere you go. But till we start to make a move to make a few things right, you'll never see me wear a suit of white. Oh, I'd love to wear a rainbow every day and tell the world that everything's okay. But I'll try to carry off a little darkness on my back till things are brighter. I'm the man in black.